If you think AI is just another big tech trend, you are missing the biggest shift in human history. And as Christians, we need to get this right. If you are a Christian coach or you run an agency, I want to help you to understand and answer this fundamental question. Should Christians ignore AI? Should Christians use AI? What does the Bible say about it? I get a lot of emails and talk with a lot of business owners, Christians and non Christians as well. But I want to dedicate this time to talk to my Christian entrepreneurs, my coaches that are on the fence about if, when, how to use AI. I know that your convictions matters, but I want to help you to kind of, shed some light on this so you can be better informed and make a decision that is going to have a huge and a significant impact on your finances, on your family, on your career, and the path forward. Now, this is an AI awakening that we Christians we cannot ignore. And I have my notes here that I want to go over a few things that are very vital and important. One of the things that you can't ignore is that AI is already reshaping how we live. AI is reshaping the way that we communicate. AI is reshaping the way that we do business as we know. There are tools, there are methodologies, there are systems that, people used maybe 10 years ago. Those are obsolete. Those don't work anymore. And I see so many businesses even today. I went into a dentist a few months ago, and the secretary was booking appointments with a pen and paper on a notebook. I couldn't believe it. In 2025 and 2026, and I know there are a lot of coaches that are still using the old format, using the old ways. Maybe it's because you're overwhelmed and you're not really sure what to do. Maybe it's because you're confused or you're lost. Well, there's hope for you. If you are trying to figure out as a Christian, should I use AI? Shouldn't I use AI? Let me go through some stats here for you. 42% of pastors and ministry and organizations, they report using AI tools for sermon preparation and administration work. So almost half of pastors already using AI, but they're using AI in the simplest form, right? That as a business person, the way that you use AI is not the way that they're going to use AI. And I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. The global AI market, listen to this, the global AI market is projected to reach $1.8 trillion by 2030. That is a huge market. You got to position yourself to get some of that. And for the coaching, specifically the faith-based market, it's about 4 billion, and it's going to increase more. For the general overall, the coaching industry, it's about 22 to 25 billion dollars. That's a lot of money. Now, again, I know it's not all about the money, but the truth of it is you want to get paid for the services that you render. And most coaches are not prepared for the next 5 years. They're not thinking about a year from now. They're not thinking about what do I need to do to position myself as technology changes. 73% of Christian business owners use some form of AI in the operations in one way or another, whether they realize it or not. Okay. So AI is something that's reshaping everything that you do. The companies that you use, they've already integrated some form of AI into their business and into their practice. Now, I'm going to go over the three types of mindset that people have when it comes to AI, because this is something that's powerful, especially for Christian coaches, for Christian businesses, for Christian entrepreneurs, for those in ministry, for those that have a church, those that have organization, especially privately owned. I want to help you to understand and to navigate this particular uh, time that we're in. Now, I want to go on. So, the difference between being informed and being left behind. One of my biggest concern when it comes to coaches is coaches spend about 78% of their time doing administrative work. I mean, there's a technical stuff, that they are worn out and they're using tools that are ancient to do this. You have to learn how to change so that you can invest more of your time to serve the clients that you have. Companies that adopt AI early see a 5 to 15% increase in revenue compared to late adopters. 86% of CEOs say AI is mainstream technology in the office, but only 38% of Christian leaders feel equipped to make AI related decisions. So, in the secular world, 86% of CEOs already using it. In the church, 38% of Christian leaders, Christian businesses. We have to change that. Churches using AI tools reported 23% more effective outreach and 31% better volunteer coordination. So if you run an agency, if you run an organization, whether your church is small, large, AI can help you to leverage that, can give you an edge. You don't need to use 5 or 6, 7, 8, 9 different tools. You can use 1 or 2 tools that are custom fit. And that is why I built Praylum, an AI first platform that allows you to manage everything. You can create autonomous agents. I think on the platform now, I built about 27 of them. These are agents that they can follow up for you. They can do different aspects of your business for you or your organization for you, right? You can have an agent that can find leads. They can contact the leads. They can book your appointments for you. They'll send you a link, the dates and times that you have your meetings. You don't even have to use other platforms anymore because Praylum allows you to be able to host your meetings, your training sessions. You can have it on there, and the AI will let you know how you did in the meeting, what changes you need to make. It's going to give a lot of details to help you to fine tune that. Now, I'm doing this because I want to be able to help you with your coaching business. I want to be able to help you with the organization, whether you run a small church, you run a large church, whatever size it is, AI can help you to do that. Proverbs 27 says this, and it talks about preparation and foresight. It says, a prudent person foresees danger and takes precautions. A prudent person, you don't want to be left behind. I see so many of us that are left behind because we don't invest the time to see, what was going to help us today, was going to help us to prepare for the future. Now, there are those that says, you know what, I don't even want to worry about this thing. Why burying your heads in the sand isn't biblical, isn't smart, isn't wise, that is not wisdom. Here's some stats for you. Churches, organizations, agencies that engage with technology, they see a 40% higher engagement rate among their clients, among their members that are under 40 years old. So if you have an organization, you have an agency, you have a church, you can see 40% higher engagement when you understand how to use technology, specifically AI. Christian businesses that embrace digital transformation are 2.5 times more likely to report growth in their mission impact. So you're more likely to see some type of growth in your business when you incorporate technology. And 78% of young Christians say that their faith leaders, that they expect their faith leaders to understand and thoughtfully engage in emerging technologies. This applies to your business. Look, your clients are hoping that you can help them to solve a problem that they have. And as a coach, it is your responsibility to find a way to help your clients to get the solutions that they're looking for. As a pastor, as a leader, it is up to you. They are coming to you. They're looking for you to lead them, for you to show them the way, for you to guide them. Not that they're ignorant, not that they're foolish, not that they're, dumb or anything like that, but you are their leader and they're coming to you. But yet, over almost 40% of Christian leaders, by 30% of them, don't even utilize AI. Use AI. About 38% of them use AI. That is a very low number compared to 86% in the secular world. When I think about AI, the reason why I got into this industry, now I've been doing this long before AI even started. I've been into the tech industry since I started college when I was 16 years old. And I got involved in tech, around that same time. As a matter of fact, I launched my first company officially when I was about 17 years old. And this is like a multi-level marketing. Back then, this is where you go to people's homes and, you share with them. If they join under you, they make money. And then someone else join under them, they make money. So it's like this multi-level marketing. And I learned so much from that. But I noticed that the people that excel in that business were those that implemented technology. And I saw a lot of Christians that wanted more and they're willing to go learn to get more, right? They're willing to go do that. So you have to be able to change your story. And what does that mean? Maybe you didn't come from tech background. Maybe tech is not your thing. And I get it. Not everyone is as excited about tech as I am, right? But if you're not excited about tech, get around people that help guide you in the way that you should go. Because if not, you're going to fall behind. You are going to fall behind a lot. Now, I want to talk to you about the three camps of how coaches view AI. There's three camps of how Christian coaches, faith-based coaches view AI. The camp number one is this: they're fearful. Number two, they're naive. Number three, those that use wisdom. And let me share some stats here with you. 34% of Christians view AI as primarily threatening to their faith and values. 28% see it as neutral technology, and 38 view it as an opportunity for kingdom advancement. Now, those three numbers are significant. So you have 34% that view AI as a threat. These are people that say, I have a business, I'm in the ministry, I'm in church, I have an organization, I don't want to deal with anything AI. AI is bad, AI is evil, keep me out of it. I could understand that, but as I mentioned before, the reality is you have to deal with AI. Every major company today is integrating AI at some level. And then you have those that are naive, they're neutral. They're not either for it or against it. If they can use it, they use it. If not, they don't. And then you have those that's 38% that see it as an opportunity to enhance your coaching business, to enhance your organization, to enhance your church, to enhance your ministry. If you want to get ahead, you need to find out the technology that will help you to get advanced. Now, I've seen people, talk about they have, try like 300 AI tools and they've tried this and tried that. You don't have to do all of that. Look at where you're going and then you find the tools that will help you get there. That is why I built Praylum, an AI first platform that you want to start a coaching business, consulting, you want to enhance it, you have an agency that you manage coaches, you can log on there, create an account for free, or it's an agency, choose the right package, and then you can be able to use the system to run and scale your business. Everything in one platform. Now you got to understand, because if you are of the mindset that AI is evil, you're not going to use it. You're not going to use it. And your business, it is going to fall behind. As I mentioned earlier, I went to, a dentist, and they were taking appointments by writing. And I looked at the paper that she was writing in. It looked old. It looked, dated. All that has to happen is just one little accident and everything gets damaged. So you have to have that mindset of, I need to be able to adjust. I need to be able to adapt. I need to be able to kind of get with the program. Every technology has pluses and minuses. Now, the Bible doesn't specifically say use AI or don't use AI, but it's going to give you guardrails. It's going to give you wisdom. The Apostle Paul, talked about testing everything. Use that same wisdom with AI. It has benefits and it has risks. You have to decide if the risks outweigh the benefit or the benefits outweigh the risks. But if you want to do business, let me tell you something. You want to do ministry the right way. If you want to reach the masses with the gospel, you have to put yourself in a position that you're constantly learning, always learning. For me, I'm learning every single day, because I realized that in order for me to make the impact as a business person, as a believer that I want to make, I have to see what technology is working and I have to learn that technology, which is exactly what I did with AI. Before we debate AI ethics, let's take a look here to see how God used technology in the past and God's intent for how he wants technology to be used. One of the things you have to understand is that the people that are creating this technology, the Bible said all good and perfect gift come from above. They just didn't get this out of nowhere. They got the wisdom from God, even if they don't accept that, because God is their creator. So I want to show you some biblical examples of how God used technology for his purpose. You got to think outside the box. It's not just about you. It's about understanding things from the larger scope, right? Sometimes we have a microscopic view of certain things, but we got to have a macroscopic view, a global view, a world view. Maybe you're fine with where you are right now. So this message is not for you. And for those that you're comfortable, you don't want to grow, you don't want to scale, you don't want to push yourself, you're fine exactly where you are. But for those of you, and I know it's most of you, you want more. You want more out of life. You want more out of your business. And you are willing to do whatever it takes to get there. God is a God that he will always use technology for his purpose. Now, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. There are always risks and benefits with everything in life. AI is no different. Now, for those of you, if you watched a few weeks ago, Anthropic, which created this AI called Claude, had a bout with the Department of War, and their concern is ethics. The U.S. Department of War wanted to use Claude to be able to create autonomous weapons that can work by themselves without any humans. And then Anthropic The creative Claude is saying, look, we can't give you access to that because this is devastating. We're not at a point where we can say for sure what's going to happen if you do that, right? That's a case in point for talking about how AI can cause a lot of harm to a lot of people. Now, when Solomon built his temple, Solomon used innovation. Solomon used the best technology that was available at that moment. When Moses was building the tabernacle, Moses got the most skilled workers that knew how to use the latest technology. If you run a coaching business, a coaching agency, an organization, a church, a ministry, you want to find and gather a group of creative people around you. Let me tell you, even if you're not creative, the businesses that advance, the churches, the organizations, the companies that advance, oftentimes you're going to realize that the leader may not know as much about those technologies, but they find the right people. They join and connect with the right people. So you don't have to do this alone. God specifically in Exodus 31, 1 through 5, God specifically called uh Bezalel and filled him with divine skills. That's a very interesting story that I want you to go read that. Divine skills, intelligence, knowledge, and all kinds of craftsmanship. One of the ways that I use AI today is I use AI a lot for research. And I love doing research because research helps you to avoid so many pitfalls. It helps you to avoid so many unnecessary headache, right? Sometimes when people are doing business, they just go off of their emotions. You can't do that in today's world. Even before, you got to be able to use the tools that help you. Another thing too is when the printing press came out in 1455, the Gutenberg Bible, when it came out 1455, I mean, the cost of production and the salaries and the wages, that revolutionized everything. By the 1500s, just 45 years after the Gutenberg press, over 20 million books had been printed in Europe, with 45% being religious texts. So back then, that was a new technology that was introduced and it revolutionized things. AI is no different. Bible distribution increased 1000% in the first century after the printing press. Prior to that, it wasn't like that. So what that technology did was it enhances the gospel at a faster rate. If you want to get your business from where you are to where you desire to be, you have to be able to utilize the technology that are transforming companies today. I was talking to someone regarding AI, and I was sharing my passion for it. And I said, there has never been a time in human history when the same technology that the fortune companies that are making billions of dollars a day, that are now making trillions of dollars, that same technology is available to you and to me. There's never been a time like that. I didn't understand why before, why software engineers and programmers got paid so much money. But now I do when AI came out, because the work that AI is able to do much faster, in most cases better, even though you used to have to monitor AI, used to have to check on it, so much faster. You are living in a time like no other. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? There's never been a better time for you to launch your coaching business, for you to scale your business. There has never been a better time for you to use technology today. You don't have to work 2, 3, 4 jobs. When you understand how technology works, you can use it to your advantage. And that's the point that I want you to understand. You can use it to scale a lot faster. And if you're not sure of what to do, how to use it, I'm hosting an AI Shift Summit July 15th, 16th, and 17th, a 3-day virtual event that I'm going to show you in the coaching industry what's working, what's not working, how to position your agency, how to scale your business, your consultant firm. What do you need to pay attention to? Now, for my faith-based group, my Christians, this is something that's vital because I've noticed something. When you look in the secular world, they have their plans for 2020, 2030, what they're going to do by 2030. They want to accomplish this. Almost every company have a 2030 vision, and technology plays a significant role in there. They're giving projections. By 2030, we're going to have this. We're going to do this. We're going to have there. What is your 2030 vision for your business? What is your 2030 vision for your coaching business? What is your 2030 vision for your agency? What is your 2030 vision for your career? What is your 2030 vision for where you want to be financially? You can utilize AI to help you to bring clarity. It's not going to replace the Bible. It's not going to replace the word of God. You're just using AI to bring a certain level of clarity. And that's what's needed. You have to be able to use the tools. The stewardship principle. Use the tools you have to multiply your gift. Now, Christian coaches, listen to this. Christian coaches who embraces AI tools report 40% higher client satisfaction and 60% more time for relationship building. So 40% higher satisfaction. That means that for my coaches using AI, you're going to experience 40% higher satisfaction and 60% more time to build relationships. That matters to you. Faith-based businesses using automation and AI see a 35% high profit margin, allowing 58% more charitable giving. So the more that you implement AI in your business, the more you're able to give and to change lives. Churches that uses digital platform during 2020 to 2023, they reached 3 times more people than traditional methods alone. Look, this thing works. We're living in a new era, and you need to get with the game. You need to get with the program. The Bible in Genesis 1:28 talks about God gave us the mandate to have dominion. In the world of AI today, you can dominate your industry. You can dominate your community. If you're a coach and you want to focus just locally, if you want to focus just nationally or globally, whatever you desire, you can utilize AI to your advantage. You don't have to use 20 tools and 500 tools and all those different tools. I built a platform for coaches specifically. The difference with the platform that I created is that it was designed from the ground up for coaches. Other platforms incorporates coaching because there's a demand for coaching, but it was never designed for coaches specifically. This is your time for you to change the lives of people around the world. And AI tools can help you to do just that. God has called you to subdue, giving you dominion. Man, one thing as a Christian coach, that's beautiful is that there is a spiritual aspect of coaching that you can tap into that most secular coaches don't tap into. Most secular coaching platforms, they don't integrate spirituality into their platform because they don't want to offend people, right? They don't want to step anybody's toes. But if you look at some of the most successful coaches, they have learned to integrate spirituality into their personal lives and into their coaching practice. And that's why I built Praylum. Praylum is based off the Bible, biblical standard. So you can rest assured that you're going to get something that is solid, that is helping to lead you in the right way. Daniel had a wisdom that came from God. Daniel's wisdom compared to